It's like to be well is, you take care of yourself, you feel good, I guess, is kind of like the brass tacks of it. I think people might not realize how unwell they are until they get a chance to see, like, to step out of their area. I think that was true for me. Being positive for me has always helped me be more creative, because, like, I know some people are like artists and they're like, oh, if the more depressed I get, the better my art is. Or like, I want to be the next Trent Reznor and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that's true for some people, but it never fucking worked for me. If I got to be the getaway driver that day, I'm probably not drinking, because you can't drink and drive. At least it's a real bad idea.
I was gonna say, at least you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, I guess if I'm a getaway driver, I'm not too worried about what the cops think anyway. But it's bad news.
Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. We're bridging the gap between mental health, wellness, and rock and roll. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. Hey, are you feeling a little stuck in life? I offer wellness coaching sessions. Book a session with me if you're seeking to get healthy and ahead. Sessions are available worldwide. And check this out. Wellness Provisions supplies rock and rollers with high-quality supplements. We've simplified your shopping experience and given you a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. And did you know all our Collaborative Resource Hub interviews air on YouTube as well as all major podcast platforms? Subscribe to stay in the loop. Go immerse yourself in the full Collaborative Resource Hub experience over on our website. You'll have access to helpful resources that will inspire and educate you. So let's inspire each other. If that guy did it, so can you. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer. Nothing in this interview or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance.
Intruder Green, thank you so much for making time to be here, man. How are you?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing well, I guess is what they should say. Not just because we're talking about wellness, but because that's proper English, which is a language I'm still learning. All right.
Aren't we all? But yes, is the grammatic or whatever proper way to say it. So cool.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you had to, you play guitar in Masked Intruder. If you had to describe your band to someone who hasn't heard you guys before, how would you describe it?
It's like if you like pop punk, actually pop punk is such a weird term because people think it's like, oh, you're pop punk, like Blink-182. And I'm like, no, not really. But if you like the Ramones, you might be into us. Some people would call it Ramones core, but we're also like, I don't know, like our first album was more like that. And we've come out with like 3 full lengths at this point and a bunch of EPs and stuff. So it's a little poppy, but our hearts are like in punk rock. So, if you like punk rock, you might like us. And we sing a lot about crimes. So that's fun too. Yeah. You got to write what you know?
Fair point. There you go.
Yeah.
So, okay. Changing gears right off the bat here. This is what I do. I ask you one question about your music, and then we just go right into wellness.
Yeah. All right. That's good.
It is good. Or is it well?
No. I think we got it right. I'll just go with it. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So,
it's well and good.
There you go. Wrap it all up.
That's right.
Wellness. What does it mean to you?
Oh, wellness. I think it's important to be well mentally as well as physically. I think, for me personally, it's like, that's what it means. It's like to be well is, you take care of yourself and you feel good, I guess, is kind of like the brass tacks of it. Feeling good and, that has to do with like everything, though, not just like, I think for a long time, and maybe this is something you talked about before or not, but like people didn't necessarily consider like the importance of like your mental health, they're all like, oh, you got to just be physically healthy. And it's like, well, my brain is part of my body too, right? So like, I got to worry about that as well.
Yeah.
But then you realize like I'm worrying too much and that's not good for my brain. So now like that's not good either. And so what do? And it's like, well, I guess you got to figure out a way to be well. And it encompasses everything. I think what you consume, what you how you exercise and whatnot, and just the environment you live in, or that you are in on a regular basis.
Yeah. And like your friends and what you consume, both food wise and also like visually and like audibly. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like if I keep going, I'm gonna answer other questions you have, but it's kind of like it's got to be tough. Like some people who listen to my podcast know that I'm living in Germany right now, and that's why there's a weird time difference. But it's like living in America, especially over the last 6 years, 5 years, whatever it's been real rough. And it's rough everywhere with the pandemic and everything. But like, it's also one of those things where I think people might not realize how unwell they are until they get a chance to see, like, to step out of their, area. I think that was true for me. I think it's a real good thing. People are like, oh, Green moved to Germany and now he can't play some shows and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if Green would be playing some shows if he stayed in America. Because I might be like locked up or like, who knows, maybe not be kicking no more or something,
Yeah.
Whatever.
So is Germany serving you better these days then?
Oh yeah, Germany's great, it's weird because you think about like the Germans, they're known for being real strict and stuff. And they do have like some harsh laws here, but you don't worry about breaking them as much in that you don't feel the need to break them. Like, I feel like everybody in America is like trying to break laws because it's just what you do. And then you worry about the cops shooting you or something. And then that's just not good either. Even if you're not getting shot, but you're just worried about it all the time. Because it's like, sometimes it don't even matter if you're breaking the law or not. You just never know what's going to happen. And in Germany, everybody's a lot cooler about that. They're very straightforward. And I appreciate that. And also, this isn't necessarily the best way to be well, but I like to drink beers. And you could just walk around outside with a beer here and nobody cares, which is not the way it works in America.
Right. Yeah.
That's good for me.
Well, good. Those are nice things to have around. Yeah. We could go down a rabbit hole about that, but so was there a time in your life, I guess, where you sort of realized you had to make yourself like a priority and focus on yourself? Otherwise, just you weren't going to make it, bad shit was going to happen, anything like that?
I mean, I guess I kind of just mentioned it, like having moved to Germany, there were multiple reasons for it, but I definitely think that I was having a hard time living in the States because of all the reasons that, like nothing specific, but just like, there's a lot of shit going on a regular basis. And then, then everybody's always got personal stuff too. Everybody's got that. And then when you got all this other big shit going on, it's like, I needed to get the hell out of there. And, I did. And, jail in Germany is a lot nicer. So that's good too. And so that would have been the time if I ever had to do anything like that, that I did it.
Okay. So have you had any kind of, I guess, trouble managing mental health or like substances or anything like that where it's been kind of an issue?
I mean, like I said, I like to drink beers and, being in a punk rock band, touring around and stuff, it's like, there's going to be times when we all drink too much. I think we all drink too much on a regular basis, but then like after a while, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not even playing shows and I'm still drinking. I haven't even seen my friends and I'm still drinking. The pandemic, I think, had a bad effect on that too, where it was like, wait a minute, why am I doing this so much? So yeah, for me, it's like every now and then I feel like stuff snowballs and I'm like, wait, I got to pump the brakes here because what am I doing? Like, I should be doing more productive stuff, doing some projects and whatnot, not getting too drunk and then feeling like shit the next day and not being able to get anything done. So yeah, you know, for me, it's a thing where I like, yeah, it'll happen. And then I'll be like, whoa, I'm just going to chill for a while. And that might be couple weeks or a month or something. And then I'll be like, all right, maybe next time I meet up with a buddy, we'll have some drinks or something. Yeah, but it's important to like keep track of that stuff, you know, especially just being in any kind of band, I think, especially if you're touring and whatnot, because there's always booze and drugs around and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I definitely, you know, like we're not shy with the Masked Intruder crew to say like we've dabbled in some drugs and stuff in the past. And it's like, you know, I've been there, done that at this point, and I'm like, I don't need it no more. It was a little bit of fun, but I've seen a lot of people really get fucked up from it, like have their lives ruined. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to get anywhere close to that point. So, and I don't need to because I got other positive stuff going on. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Self-awareness is like huge. And it is, I mean, everyone I've talked to, you know, all of that stuff is readily available, but it's realizing, which is something else everyone says, is like they reach a point where it's just like, that doesn't serve me anymore. It's not adding anything positive into my life. It's like taking away. So it's like, why do that anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And as far as like drinking goes, I just love the flavors of stuff. And like, I don't know, I like tiki bars where they got the crazy tropical cocktails and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people might not know that about me. I came out, I don't know. It's weird to say I came out because it's not as important as when other people come out about real stuff. But I sort of like out of myself for a weird thing in the punk scene saying like, I don't really like whiskey. And like, that's such a weird thing because it's like, oh, you're a punk rock dude. You like shitty fucking real whiskey. And I'm like, no, actually I don't. If you buy me that shot, I'm probably just going to pretend to take it so you don't feel bad, or like throw it over my shoulder or something because it's gross.
Have you ever done that?
Like, yes, I have.
Really?
And you know, yeah, because it's happened multiple times where I'm like, you know, we're having a good time at a show or something, and a fan comes up and they want to buy me a drink or a shot or something, and I'm like, dude, I don't need no more. But I also kind of feel like I don't want to like reject you, so I'm like, sure, whatever, bud. Okay, that was fun. Thanks a lot. You know, I guess I'm getting soft, but that's fine. You know, I gotta play the next, you know, we got to get in the van and play a show the next day. So
yeah,
I can't drink all the booze.
You know, I actually, I was just talking with a girl who, and I kind of asked her because like, that's another thing. It's like you don't want to disrespect any of your fans or, you know, whatever country you're in or anything like that, but being like, oh no, like, I don't want that, or I'm not drinking, I've already had enough. So it's like, you feel this obligation is what it sounds like, as I've not experienced it personally. But she was saying what she does is like, someone's like, oh, you know, let me buy you this. And she's like, oh, she just sort of like redirects it and is just picks something else, or even like a food option or something. So then she's accepting, but it's not that drink. So I don't know. She said it works really well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I don't know. There's not always a food option, but I would definitely do that. But the whole reason I was talking about not liking whiskey is because I do like rum drinks. Yeah. Which are also really strong and can get really out of hand, like, because, you know, with those tiki drinks, you're drinking them, you're like, oh, this is like candy, it's delicious. And then you've had two of them and you're like, wow, I'm trashed.
Yeah.
But
and the sugar in those fuck you up too. Like, I mean,
oh yeah. And that's actually, now that you mention it, God, see, I feel like I'm jumping to a different question you were going to ask later again, but that for me is even harder than booze is sugar.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like my three things are sugar, caffeine, and booze.
Okay.
Those are the hottest things for me to like get away from, but the hottest one of all to me is sugar. Probably because, like, you know, you just got to be a certain time of day or something for booze. If I gotta like, if I gotta be the getaway driver that day, I'm probably not drinking, because you can't drink and drive. At least it's a real bad idea.
I was gonna say, at least you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, I guess if I'm a getaway driver, I'm not too worried about what the cops think anyway. But it's bad news. Yeah, but sugar, man, it's like, it's in everything. You know, it's hard to avoid, and it's so easy, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I love chocolate and gummy candies. Oh, the gummy candies here in Germany are off the hook. Like, yeah, I don't know if you know, but
they're
like
known
they're
for
all
that,
about
aren't
the
they?
gummy candy. They probably are, and I just didn't know until I got here. But holy crap, yeah, it's like you go down an aisle in a grocery store, and they got like a whole aisle of gummy candies, and I love gummy candies, so it's bad news. It's bad news for old Green.
Well,
I gotta ration it somehow. I don't know.
The other thing with the sugar too is it's in often your caffeine and your alcohol. So like those are your two other vices, and it's in all of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, rum is my favorite booze, and it's made from sugar. So,
yeah,
you know, put the 5 and the 6 together. Yeah, that's right.
If you have you ever tried to change your diet to cut back on sugar?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's another thing that fluctuates a lot with me, where like, yeah, I mean, I do like, I've done some cooking shows and stuff that, you know, people who know me might have seen. You find it on the YouTube or whatever. But for me, yeah, part of doing that was like, yeah, I was doing a lot of like cooking, especially when I got over here, because like, I don't know, the restaurants in Germany, that's the one thing I'm like, this food needs salt. Can I get some salt? And they're like, we don't have salt. I don't know. It's just a weird thing where Germans don't really like to use a lot of salt. And I'm like, I'm from America, dude. I need some salt.
Right.
But anyway, so I've been doing a lot of my own cooking. And then, you know, I started like being like, well, I like green stuff. Salad is green. So I'm going to eat some salads. I can make some type salads. That's good stuff. Some green smoothies and whatnot, you know, and it's all good. But then eventually I'm like, I also like, you know, ice cream and chocolate and gummy candies. And they got all that here. The ice cream's real good too. Like, yeah, it ain't no Blue Bunny.
You gotta, yeah, exactly. It's better quality, but you still
but it's still chock full of sugar.
I was gonna say, yeah, dude, just don't buy it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta not buy it, but you know, you could steal it too, and same difference.
If you were ever interested in like actually like really wanting to like cut it out, there's some supplements that you can take that help your body rebalance like blood sugar levels, and then you're not craving the sugar. So it makes it so much fucking easier to stop eating it when your body's not craving it.
Well, that's probably a good idea for me. Mm-hmm. I haven't never looked into that kind of thing. The only like supplement type stuff I take is like vitamin C, because I feel like I can never get enough of that. And then like sometimes vitamin B complex thing, because I don't know, that's supposed to give you like energy, right? Or something. Yeah. And I can always use more of that too.
Right.
It's like the caffeine thing. It's like, I don't want to drink too much caffeine. So I'll drink a little bit of caffeine and some of this vitamin B stuff, vitamin B stuff.
Do you stay hydrated?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I need to drink more water. And I think everybody does. I think Michelle Obama even had a thing where she was trying to get people to drink more water. I was like, that lady's cool. I mean, she's the state, so that sucks, but you know, whatever. She's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like drinking water. If you're drinking lots of booze, you need to drink even more water because you're like peeing it all out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's important too.
Yeah, alcohol and coffee both hydrated. Like it dehydrates you. So like you need for every like coffee or beer, you need more water. But just like as like a mainstay, you should be doing like half your body weight in ounces. So if you're exercising or drinking coffee or alcohol, then you got to like up it even more.
Oh yeah, I believe it to be true.
Yeah. But that plays huge into energy is what I was going to say, like to wrap up the thought on water, because it allows oxygen, especially if you're adding any kind of like electrolytes into it. It helps your body transport oxygen to your brain and like your extremities, and like it's kind of huge.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah, and there's definitely, I can feel it, like take a day when you're hungover from drinking too much the night before versus, I don't know, a day when I like had a bunch of stuff to do and I was just chugging water and it was like hot summer and I'm sweating a lot, but I'm just slamming so much water that it doesn't matter. I feel great because my blood's pumping and I'm sweating and doing some cool stuff, probably like getting paid and, whatever, allegedly. Yeah, I could, that when putting those two like, opposite ends of the spectrum, like I've experienced them and I could definitely, feel how good it is when you're actually hydrated.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's an advert in less than 20 seconds. Did you know that Wellness Provisions offers one-on-one wellness sessions? Yep. So if you're seeking to get healthy and ahead in life, but feeling a little stuck, then book a session and let's get you unstuck. Now back to the interview.
What do you do like on a regular basis to help kind of like balance out your stress level so that you don't like lose your shit?
Drink booze, obviously. I mean, that's probably not the best answer for a wellness podcast, but like, that's part of it. Is like sometimes you just want to like kick back and I don't know, drink some sweet nectar and not worry about some stuff because like with everything going on, like I said, mental health for me is like a big thing, and I guess sometimes that might actually take away from my physical health a little bit, but they're connected, so that don't make no sense. I don't know. I I'm bad with this one.
Do you ever exercise? Like make a point to like if
you
get, like, anxiety or anything? Like does a run help or?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to run more, and now I'm doing some stuff where like I'm on my feet a lot, moving around a lot. So that helps a lot too. Basically, I try to stay fit. I've even like, we looked at it like when we're on tour, I like to jump around stage a lot and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm getting a workout for like a half-hour workout.
Oh,
whatever,
totally.
Half hour, 45 minutes. And it's intense, but the calories with the shitty food and the booze on tour, it completely counteracts it, and we're not doing enough. I think it was actually I did it. My peak for that was probably when we were on the Warped Tour, which I think was 2016 or something. The Warped Tour, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like, the big punk rock touring festival, which I think they stopped doing it before the pandemic. Like I think the last year was 2019, but it was like
really?
planned that way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, like when we did it, it's always just super hot and sweaty every day. And that was a time when we were just like, water. And, we'd do a set and we just sweat our butts off in the sun because, part of the whole thing around a Warped Tour is you're basically just out in a parking lot or a field all day in the middle of summer. And you got to do what you got to do. There's never enough water around, but you find water somehow. And then, we'd still party a little at night and whatnot, but like, so we would play the set. Every morning we had to go help unload the trucks because they didn't have like stagehands doing it. They didn't have enough stagehands. They had some, but like basically all the band members would have to pitch in and help unload these trucks. So you like first thing in the morning when you get to the place, you're lifting weights basically.
Yeah.
And then you're sweating your butt off, play your show and you get some cardio and then you do whatever else. But that still wasn't enough. Drink a lot of booze. So I started running at night, right when it was cooling down. Like sunsets. Basically, the schedule for that was like you get there around 8 a.m., you unload, you do your thing all day. And then around like 10 p.m. or something, you'd have to get in your bus or your van or whatever and leave to get to the next show on time because you got to be there at 8 a.m. But we'd have a little bit of time when it was like the sunset and I could go running and stuff. And that also helped me from like drinking too much before that, because I was like, all right, I got a thing I got to do. I can have a few drinks after that, but like, make sure I do this, because otherwise I'm just going to like feel like shit, you know?
Yeah. And that's like a good, I guess you could say even like an incentive where it's like, if you know you want to go running, then it's like, you can only drink so much or, you know, party so much, because it's like, you know, the running is like super important. So it's like
That's
priorities,
right.
I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to do that like kind of like a lot. I always want to try to have things where I'm like, all right, I can have a couple drinks later, but first I got to get these things done. And, then I will have accomplished something and I can kick back and relax. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. But sometimes I'm just like, oh, I did enough today. Fuck this. I need a drink.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like productivity and organization and stuff, it makes you feel good too. So it's like rewarding.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Totally. Are you big into like nature or, sunshine? Does that make you feel good?
Oh yeah. I love the sun, playing shows out in the hot sun like we did a lot on the Warped Tour ain't so good. I like to get out and get away from like the world sometimes and hide out in the woods. That's real good. And sometimes, you might find a mountain to like hike across, and that's also good. You breathe that fresh air and whatnot. I remember actually, right when I first got over here, I went hiking in northern Italy. They got these mountains there. It's like, they talk about the Alps and people think about like, oh, yeah, the Swiss Alps and whatnot. It's like, well, that whole range, there's like Alps all over the place. So they got them in northern Italy and stuff. And I was up there and yeah, it was real nice. It was nice, hot day. Well, it wasn't even that hot because you're elevated and stuff.
Right.
But I remember I was walking past this stream that was coming down from the mountain, and it was beautiful, first of all, but also like the water was so pure and clear that it was like there was no difference between that and the stuff that was in my water bottle that came out of the tap, except this was probably cleaner. and it was super cold because it was coming down from the mountain. So I just filled up my bottle and just slammed it. And I was like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful taste of water I ever had. It's like, you always hear those advertisements where they're like, oh, fresh mountain water, or like, like that we brew a beer with or something. And it's like, nobody knows what that actually tastes like. They're just like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I probably want that water to drink.
But you actually know.
But I actually know I had it and it's fucking delicious. And I'm pretty sure most of the companies that say they have that are lying, which I appreciate, but it is a good thing if you can get it. So yeah, that was a good moment.
Oh, that sounds like, I like water a lot. So that sounds amazing. And I like nature. So that's like perfect right there. Yeah. Have you spent much time in Spain?
No. I've only been to Spain a few times because we played some shows there. But I love Spain. We've been to Madrid and I think Barcelona. Yeah.
Because I was going to ask if you've had the Vichy Catalan water, the sparkling water. No. Holy shit. Oh,
shit.
Dude,
it's good stuff, huh?
It's so fucking good. It's like, it's really hard. Like there's so many minerals in it. It's like a fucking like mineral complex. Yeah, that's good. Like in liquid form. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I love stuff like that too. Like, people forget about like you want minerals in your water and stuff. But I bet I could get it, because that's the cool thing about like, the other day I was listening to a different podcast and it was some guy was talking to a band or whatnot, and he was like, man, I can't wait now that the pandemic's over, I can start touring in Europe again. And I started thinking about every time we toured in Europe, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get back to Europe. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in Europe. I can get all the European stuff right now. And that's the cool thing. Like, I didn't even think about it with water, like that they got a cool sparkling water. I will have to get that name from you, or maybe I'll just listen back to this and find it. Okay. But because I was thinking, like, before, I'm like, yeah, I'm in Germany and I like wine, and Germans aren't necessarily known for their wine, but Germany is in Europe, and France and Italy are known for their wine, and I can get it here. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than when you got to get it imported in the States. So yeah, it's great because you can get like a $5 bottle of wine and it's going to taste amazing, you know, because it's like from some legit shit from France.
Yeah.
Like, so the same thing with this water, I'm guessing like I could probably get it. So yeah, I'm excited now.
There's only like 2 places or 3 places that I know of, and it's like never in stock. I don't know. There's like major import issues with it in the United States that sell it. It is like so fucking good. But anyway.
I'm a little torn about that though, because I do like, I've always heard that Germany has like really good water standards for just like their tap water and like the way they regulate pollution and everything. And I'm like, good, because as cool as I think it is to have like a good solid bottled water, like we need to fucking take better care of our environment and make it so the water that we just get out of any tap is fucking great. You know, like, so, you know, I probably will try this, you know, bottled water or whatever.
Well,
but
sparkling.
Like,
so like that's you know, but it's true.
Oh like, yeah, that's the good stuff.
The tap should be clean water.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, another thing that pisses me off, you know, like growing up in the States, I never worried about water. But now it's like a thing in the States, you know, like thought that was supposed to be something we were watching, or somebody was watching. Turns out nobody was watching, and now it's kind of starting to go into shit. Yeah.
Where I live, because I live in North Carolina, like, and the Cape Fear runs like right here, and I don't know if it is the Cape Fear or not. I think it is, but the water is so fucking polluted with these chemicals from certain like manufacturers or whatever. I think they call it Gen X is what the chemical is. But it's like a thing, and it's like wicked cancery. So, and that's just like,
like
that's the water.
Aaron Brockovich stuff.
Yeah, basically it's like Flint, Michigan kind of stuff. It's fucking bad.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised. It's happening everywhere. It's just people aren't necessarily finding out about it until it's too late.
Yeah. Like I have a buddy who's actually making a documentary about this water issue here. And, you know, it's the same, you know, they've known about it, but they've been suppressing it and all that kind of, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. But that's like the fucking worst. You know?
It's pretty bad.
Like, people, Yeah.
But on the bright side, you're in Germany, and there's
that's right.
So much better stuff going on there. And also like the standards for natural remedies and even homeopathy and stuff is like fucking awesome in Germany.
It's funny because a lot of people like they run businesses out of their houses here. So you'll be in a residential area, and then there'll just be like, even like not just places that you would expect to be home businesses, but like some guy will just have a big garage and he'll build machines in it. And that's like a whole business, and he has people working there out of his house. But right down the street from the studio here, there's like a homeopathy place. I don't know nothing about what they do there, but it's probably pretty cool. Yeah. Also, they do a lot of like, you know, the health insurance situation here is a lot better than in the States. It's real easy to get, they just call it physical therapy, but it's basically, massage, you know, like a legit massage because you fucked up your back, or your sciatic nerve is all messed up because you're running from the cops and you fell on your keys or whatever, allegedly. So, you know, like, that stuff's all real good over here. And I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's a place that you just want to get sick.
Yeah, right. But they're like making it harder for you to get sick here.
Right.
So
It's
what
like
the hell? It's almost like a good idea. Yeah. Catch 22, good idea. Same thing, right?
Same thing. Has there been anything healthy that you've like specifically incorporated into your life that's like made you more creative?
Yeah, I don't know.
Either omitting or like adding in?
I think for me, it's just it's being positive more than anything. Just finding things to keep me positive. I think like a lot of people in the world, and probably especially in like the punk scene, you know, like I probably got a bit of depression that I deal with on a regular basis. And that's the kind of thing that never really goes away. But you just kind of have to like remember that, like, why am I feeling fucked up right now? Everything should be fine. Oh yeah, depression. It's like, I don't know if it's a chemical thing or what, but you know, just trying to keep that at bay. And that happens in so many different ways. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I need to go run in Italy and drink some mountain water. Or you know, maybe it is just kicking back and having a glass of rum or something, because you know, just I need a wine or some stuff like that. But you know, obviously with the booze, just don't overdo it. But yeah, I think just having a positive mental attitude. One thing I like to do is you know, when I am driving, because I gotta go real fast, especially if there's cops behind me. Sometimes, you know, like somebody be in my way or something, and I'm like, you know, like anybody, I get a little road rage or whatever. But my favorite thing to do is start like, you know, they can't hear me because the windows are up and everything, but I start like cussing them out and everything. But then I start saying like funny shit, like I'm gonna make a poop pie and make you eat it or something like that. And then I just start laughing about it, and then I feel better. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a simple trick, but it works. But anyway, back to like the original question, I think that just being positive for me has always helped me be more creative. Because like I know some people are like artists and they're like, oh, if, like the more depressed I get, the better my art is. Or like I want to be the next Trent Reznor and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that's true for some people, but it never fucking worked for me. When I get depressed, I just want to fucking roll up in a ball and like, yeah, die. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to fucking do anything creative. But being positive, like even if I want to write an angry song or like do something like that's a little more like aggressive, I gotta be happy about it to make it good. You know, like that's, I don't know. It comes in various forms, but like that's kind of like my best you know, kind of like concentration as far as being like more I do things more.
Yeah, more productive.
Yeah, more productive. That's right. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, positive thinking or like PMA or whatever is like, it's so like practicing gratitude, for example, that can actually rewire your brain. It changes the chemicals in your brain, like anticipating positive things to happen instead of thinking the world's gonna fucking end and that person hates you or whatever. Like it changes your body like on a physiological level. Like it runs deep, thinking positive. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And yeah, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always trying to like laugh about things and not worry about it too much. You know, they always say like that saying, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. But that sounds kind of cheesy. So we like to say, fuck the dumb shit, and it's all dumb shit. All right.
That works. It's true.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quote?
Oh yeah. So yeah, obviously, like everybody, I had to think real hard about this, but it actually goes back to the previous question about my, you know, being like positive and everything, and it goes to like one of my favorite musicians out there, Andrew WK. I don't know if you are familiar with him or like are into him, but I think he's fucking a crazy dude. And his whole like sort of like what all his music is about, just being positive, I think is real great. And just how like, all the bad shit in the world and all the good stuff is like, it's all like, because it's all part of life, it's all good. Or it should be looked at as like you can make it good. And I guess one of my favorite quotes from one of his songs was just because this life ain't easy doesn't make it bad. So yeah, that's my favorite thing. My favorite quote. And obviously it's a lot harder for other people. Like I definitely don't have the hottest life in the world. Some people got a lot easier than me, but you just got to stay positive because otherwise, what the fuck you doing?
It's it. I mean, it's perspective and it's a choice. It still comes down to a choice of how you want to view things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far out. So, hey, my tagline for my business is delay dying. Okay. So if you had to give advice to someone, like final bits here that you would want to pass on how to delay dying, or in other words, live happier and healthier, what would you offer someone?
Well, I mean, ultimately just have a good time, but that's real broad. Like you want a specific idea?
Whatever you want to pass on.
I was thinking about this one thing, and I don't know if this works exactly, but I got some friends that got kids now. And I was thinking about like when I was a kid and how like, we talk about in the punk scene, like, well, with the Me Too movement and everything, the toxic masculinity and all this stuff. And I think it was before the pandemic, they were talking about like, what's wrong with boys? And that was like a message that started getting out there. And then I think people got distracted by all the other stuff. And it was like, yeah, that's a good thing to think about what all of this is. Not that it excuses any of the behavior or anything of like young men or whatever, but like when you think about like what is going through a teenage boy's brain, it's basically boobs and vaginas constantly, and you're making them go to school and telling them to learn shit and that their life depends on it. And they're like, I don't care. I want to go home and like, crank it.
Right.
So and actually this comes back to another conversation I was hearing where a guy was like, oh yeah, the first time like my mom caught me like jerking off, she shamed the hell out of me for it. And I think something we could do better as society is not put so much shame there, because these kids, they're going through some fucking crazy shit. And it's weird to talk about kids this way, but you could say like, young adults, like puberty doesn't just stop as soon as you turn 18.
Right.
Those hormones are still going through people's brains and crazy. And I don't know if this is true also for women, but I would never was a woman, so I don't know. I'm just saying for like dudes are fucking crazy. And I don't know. That's one thing I think that society could lighten up on. Not that they want to like, oh yeah, just go jerk off whenever you want, but like, don't have such a stigma about it. Like, don't do it in public, but like, do it, like, be cooler about it. I don't know how, but just be cooler about it. And, maybe kids will not be so, I don't know, toxically masculine, because that's obviously a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be destigmatized.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that goes to a lot of mental health and just societal health, I guess, is the main thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's actually funny. I just wrote a essay thing, like a blog post this morning about this, and in it I put it was about why there's such a stigma with mental health issues. And it really comes to, just like everything, it starts with us. So like, give a big fuck you to society and be like, just reject the fact that they want to stigmatize it. Just start rejecting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's it's like a thing that happens from generation to generation, right? Like, because you might want to do that, but maybe you're in the minority, but then like when the next generation comes up, you know, we're going to be able to teach them better. Like, that's a big thing in punk rock, really. It's like you get kids and they're in these bands, and then, you know, the next generation is going to be inspired by those bands, but they'll have figured some things out maybe, and won't be quite as fucked up, but maybe they'll have other questions and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just keeps going down the line.
Yeah. Hopefully it progresses. Like,
yeah.
That, right.
But I mean,
that's the thing we want, is progression.
Learning and then teaching and learning and teaching and learning and teaching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, people, you know, like, well, not to get on my thing, but like, I guess wellness in punk rock, like, that's a big thing nowadays with, especially after the Me Too movement started, with, you know, the PC culture and call out culture, especially in the punk community. It's like, you know, a lot of the old school punk rockers got all pissed off about it because they're like, oh, you can't say anything. I was like, well, shit's progressing, you know, like, it's getting better and people are getting healthier and they're starting to think about things more. And, you know, sometimes I think it does go too far. Like when people get called out for shit that happened a long time ago and they get canceled or whatever before it. Sometimes it's absolutely called for. But yeah, I think it's a positive thing. And people who are being curmudgeon-y about it need to realize that it's the new generation is just, it doesn't really matter what you think, you know, like the new generation is going to take over and they're going to be, you know, it's going to be their scene. So you can either get with the times or just be a curmudgeon and, you know,
fuck
whatever.
off, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add? Do you have anything cool coming up that you want to share on?
No. Masked Intruder had some shows that I didn't get to play, but we got a new feeling guitar player, Intruder Brown. He's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, we don't have anything as far as the band goes. I just got my podcast, which I'm doing about 2 episodes a month minimum. We talk about everything, and you can get that. You can get everything at intrudergreen.com. I also got if you're in Europe, if you got any European listeners, I got a merch store on there that you can I got all sorts of crap on there you can find, like punk rock stuff and some stuff that fell off the back of a truck. So some emo bands and whatnot. But yeah, you can get that on there. It's all at intrudergreen.com.
Cool.
Yeah, that's about it.
Sweet. I'll link all that and people can go spend their money with you.
Hell yeah. Do it. All right. Love that.
All right.
Money.
Well, thanks for making time and chatting. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me on. It was nice to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, it's important.
It is. I agree.
Some people say that love is a prison. You're locked up whenever you're in it. Well,